creepy girl in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Emphasis on the creepy. In January of this year, my family and I decided to plan a week-long vacation to Cocoa Beach, Florida. A large condo with a private beach entrance in what's known as the safest area, with all of the amenities, sounded just good enough to jump on, and that we did. Last week we arrived in Cocoa Beach to our 2,500 square foot condo right on the water. We had our own long pier walkway to a locked gate that led to our part of the beach. It was locked tight, and only the house key could get you on or off of the beach in that area for miles. We spent the first day on the beach with the kids, frolicking in the water and making sandcastles. Everything seemed perfect. The second day came, and our day was about the same, spending all day at the beach, having a great time with the kids. It was a great day. That night, after the kids were sound asleep, we decided to sit out on the balcony and have a few drinks. About an hour later, my in-laws, they came with us, asked us if we would like to get out of the house and take a midnight stroll on the beach, and we obliged. Knowing our kiddos were in good hands, we took off into the night like giddy school kids. Time alone? What is this? We began our walk down the pier to the gate. It was pitch black. The lights from our cell phones were the only thing guiding us down the long, dark pier. About halfway down, I began to see a dark mass at the end of the pier, just past the gate. It looked like a rock of some sort. The closer we got, the more distinct the mass became, but I still couldn't figure out what it was. It did not move with the wind, and it made no sound. It was as still as the night. We walked up to the gate, and I flashed my light on the mass. To my surprise, it was a person, sitting at the gate, looking at the waves. They were wearing a black hoodie and dark pants, everything black. We spoke to the figure. No answer. The figure never moved, not one time. As my husband put the key to the gate, I tapped him and whispered, "No, I don't like that. Everything about this feels wrong." As we began our walk back, I noticed that the figure was still there, not moving, not looking at anything, just there. We made our way down the street to a local pub and spoke with the owner and some locals about our experience. They all agreed that this was highly unusual and that we made the right choice not going on to the beach. We laughed it off, shared a few drinks, talked about real estate there for a bit, and headed back to the condo. During our walk back, I couldn't shake the fact that less than 100 feet away from where we were sleeping, there was a person just squatting on our pier. I told my husband that I had to go back and talk to him or her again. I had to see a face. I had to hear a response for myself, or I literally would not sleep. He reluctantly agreed, and we headed back to the pier. We stood there, scared honestly, but we decided we had to speak to the person. This time we turned on the assistive lights on our phones and headed down loudly. We got to the gate, and to our disbelief, the figure was still there. It had been at least 2 hours since we had gotten to the bar. We turned our lights to it and said, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?" The figure turned around. She was a female, dark skin with freckles. Very cute, actually. She looked at us with insane eyes and said, "I am fine. I just sleep listening to the water. My children are out there in the water, and I'm waiting for them to come back to me." I replied, "Your children? Do you need anything? Are you thirsty?" She yelled, "I'm fine. My children will come back to me someday." Needless to say, we wasted no time noping the fuck out of that conversation and heading back to the condo. We made sure the lights were off and all curtains were shut, as I didn't want her to know where we were staying. The rest of the night went without incident, continued to the next night. We were all sitting inside with the doors open, listening to the waves, when we start to hear people outside walk up to the pier and scream. I mean, one person after the next. We finally decided to shut out the lights and hang out on the balcony. The condo came with binoculars, so we brought those out with us and looked out to the gate. As soon as we sat down, a group of guys started to walk past the gate with their flashlights on the beach, picking up seashells, I assume. They got up to the gate, flashed the light over, and then stopped. Flashed the light at the beach, and then back at the gate. Then again. This time I took a close-up look. She was there, again. Just like before. Same everything. This time she was just scaring the shit out of every single person who walked by. It was like they could sense her presence before they even arrived. It was just so odd. Nothing felt right about it, but she never moved. It was almost sad. We had a few drinks and we all went to bed. Continued to that night, mid-sleep. I'm awoken to the sound of 3 very distinct knocks on the patio door. I sit up and look at the clock. It's 3 a.m. No joke. No satanic innuendo. It just is what happened. I got up and looked out the window. I could faintly see something on the beach. It looked blurry, almost foggy. I had an overwhelming sense of something watching me, so I went into the living room and grabbed the binoculars. I looked back out of our patio window, and my heart stopped. It literally stopped. My blood ran completely cold. I felt myself breathe a shiver. She was on the beach. She was looking at me and smiling. Right at me. Through the binoculars. It was pitch black in our condo, yet she could see me right at that very moment. Like she had been waiting the entire time. I dropped the binoculars to the floor and screamed. I ran into bed and tried to wake up my husband, but to no avail. It was bone-chillingly frightening. I have never ever been that scared. I never looked out there again at night. My beach days ended at 7 p.m., and balcony nights were only spent with family. I can't help but relate the knocking to her. How would I have known to get up? Why 3 knocks at 3 a.m.? How could she have done that when I was in a 4th-story condo and she was well over 100 feet away on the other side of a private gate? What was it about her that scared so many people? Anyhow, that was my awesome vacation. I couldn't help but share. I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to the special friends of the channel for your overwhelming generosity. If you would like to support the channel, the link is below in the description. Also, please send me your stories and poems to duchessofdarkness27@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram at duchess.ofdarkness and Twitter at duchessofdarkn2. I want to thank all my listeners for your kindness, your encouragement, and your support. It means the world to me. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.